Okay, this is a my personal take on a presentation or video that by Brother Panic. He um described a veil. He went into what a veil is and what a veil does. Uh, what is a veil? A veil unveils. What does it unveil? A veil unveils the nature of a veil. And what is the nature of a veil? The nature of a veil is wisdom. The nature of a veil. If I describe the nature of a veil, A-V-A-I-L, one word, a veil, that would not be wise. Because, if anybody didn't have the patience to suffer you, I guess they could say, you're not awesome, and I'm going to start back sucking. And so, uh, I'd have to differentiate that this is a veil, okay? Um, Only a veil unveils because a veil is unveiling. Um, and what a veil unveils is the nature of a veil. The nature of a veil is wisdom. Uh, uh, oh shit, I fucked it up. Okay. What does a veil look like? Well, the whole point of a veil is to disguise. So you can't see a veil until the unveiling. That's pretty interesting, you know. Even that, it's really like a well, it's to the point. I don't have any problems with the explanation. There's another funny one. I mean, how could you? Oh, how could you? How could you? uh, about change, right? Um, uh, the only thing that never changes is change, because change is changing. Change will always be changing, therefore it never changes. Um, let's see if I have any other goodies. Um, what is the uh, universal principle? The only universal principle is the universal lack of principle. That one is Bobby Hemmett. And the change things was explained by Bobby Hemmett as a most recently, I suppose. I would have to suppose, if you know English, that uh, you might already be able to say these things. You might already be able to make these things up in your head if nobody ever explained it to you before. But that would be like uh, really creative. Now you're making stuff up. Excuse me for a second. Um, okay, dead air.